getting prepared to build Old Bay District 2. I figured it was time to get OBD 1 set up right beside the prepped module of OBD 2. So I have to glue down these foam chunks. These are 3 inches thick, these chunks here. And I gotta figure out how I'm going to put the main decking in. Let me move the camera here just so that we can get it closer. While we move our camera, I want to talk a little bit about how we glued the foam down to the 1/4 inch I don't know what they are. They're kind of like drywall panels that are 1/4 inch, really thin drywall panels. So I'm using 3 inches of foam for the land area and 2 inches of foam for the water area. And we're going to do a number of things to block the foam from the water so that there is no gas leaking or no visible gas leakage. We're gonna try to experiment with some heavy card, kind of like a construction paper or something like that. We're gonna glue down with. I usually get Gorilla Glue, the polyurethane stuff, because that's the stuff that I first noticed glues anything to anything very solidly. However, I noticed that LePage came out with its own version of polyurethane glue and figured what could be the difference. So, other than the price, because the LePage stuff was a full $3.50 cheaper. And it seems like the Gorilla Glue has gotten a lot more expensive over time. So I just picked the LePage glue to test it out. Price is everything when you're on a budget. So that's my only reason for switching glues, but I'm pretty sure that they are exactly the same. So when using this foaming glue, my suggestion is always to get the best adhesion in your multi-material bond, meaning foam to the drywall. You want to pick the surface that has the least amount of pores to put your glue on. You want your glue to then expand into the porous material. So we're putting the glue down on the drywall, and then it's going to embed itself into the foam. And that's the way that, you know, if you're putting glass to wood, you'd want to put the glue on the glass, and then it would penetrate the wood. And that's you know, with almost any glue, that is a rule of thumb that I use now. So this glue expands a great deal, and you really have to go slow with it. So I glued 1 piece of foam down, let that get solid, and move around the board. It took a couple of days to get this stuff glued and screwed, as they say in the carpentry business. So now that we're through that, let's get back to the module. So everything has to be planned out beforehand to a certain degree. And what we have already is a road that starts over here and runs loosely this way. So in here we've got a spot for houses and other businesses, maybe company houses or something like that. I'm going to try to figure out how I'm going to place these structures along the boardwalk. I'm thinking maybe that might be the thing. Let's get our camera down so we can see this. I only have one piece of foam glued in at the moment. It seems to be pretty solid. So as we have it stands, we've got our piece of foam that comes out like this, and a piece of foam that comes out like this, and I don't like to have straight lines. One of the worst things that I could do in my mind's eye is make a straight line for this coastline here, so it's going to be in a really expanded V. You see, comes down, here's the fulcrum, comes back over to here, and even over here, I hope you can see this, there's a little bit of an angled area too. So let's get rid of our boardwalk for a second here. Now, I was thinking that maybe there might be a little bit of a road up here, and goes up like that. And maybe some fencing that comes along right here. And then, where do I put this massive Ferris wheel? Because it's huge. It's not ready to be placed on the layout just yet because I want to put more lighting on it. I have all the wires wound around the wheel. So I am thinking about having the Ferris wheel go right up against the fence so that people on the Ferris wheel could go over the water. Kind of like this. I don't know. What do you think about that? There's the first question here. So let's move the camera back a little bit. Try to look at this. What do you think about the boardwalk being right here? And also, what do you think about the Ferris wheel being right at the water's edge so that it doesn't take up, it takes up the least amount of space as possible? I'm thinking about maybe having the carnival come out like this and take up this portion of the layout. Maybe put in a round ride over here, maybe a ride over here, and then have the little tents and games, bingo. You know how the old ladies like their bingo, like this, and have people all in there, fencing going all the way around this section like this, maybe having the grand entrance right here. And then we'll have a nice small road here with some buildings like this. And then our train tracks run behind it. Let's move the camera over to the other side so you can visualize what we've got here. From another angle. So once again, we'll have a road coming all the way from the boat launch over here, coming up just behind these buildings. We'll maybe tuck in the road a little bit. We might even be able to put these thinner structures over here with the big one at the end. Just trying to make it so it doesn't look too crowded. I want to be able to have a lot of details, and by giving these businesses room in between each other, I'll be able to make more room for the companies themselves. Actually, this one on the end has a nice storefront like this on the side, so this will make sense to be on this end over here. In the back right here, might put in a couple of company houses. The company houses maybe like this. Maybe they're little cottages or something like that. Come right off the road. Try to find a way to fit in our Butterco. I don't know how we'll have that. Maybe we'll have that serviced by the tracks. Got our structure that might be the big pub. I want specifically, I want the tracks to be running behind in the backyards of all the businesses, so that the tracks will kind of be overgrown back there a little bit, maybe a little seedy. I don't know. You know, the big thing in design is that you know, you kind of get a small idea and you give it some time to actually embolden itself in your mind itself. So this might come back here. We might have some structures along the carnival route. Maybe tighten up the fence a little bit so there's a nice roadway. So we have a roadway here, goes up, and have another roadway there that breaks on right into the dirt road that we already have over there. This is a video kind of requesting your thoughts and ideas on what I'm doing, what's going on. Maybe you've got a great idea or a great couple of kits that might fit perfectly in this scene. Let me know. We've got a whole bunch of, we got 5 feet of space to work with. Probably about 3 feet of space here, wide, and we're not quite finished yet. Maybe these company houses might turn this way. And we'll move the. We could join these roads up so that there isn't 2 roads, there's just 1 road. That's an option too. Have a nice big road up there, and this is kind of being an alleyway. Might have to put a little bush in there too, lots of forest or something to kind of cut up our. Actually, we'll probably have trees intermingled here, a couple of big trees in this section. Yeah, lots to think about. So let me know what you think. Thanks for watching.